All right, we are live. And it's time to talk about perimenopausal solutions for women that are probably in that age group from about 45 to 55. This might be my favorite age group to talk to, the ladies that are in this stage of their life. And most of it is probably most likely because this is the stage of life that I am. I'm about ready to turn 47. Most of my life, I have struggled with my hormones. And over the last couple of years, I have figured out solutions so that I am not feeling all of those common but not normal symptoms of heavy periods, cramps, hot flashes, headaches, menstrual cycles that are out of control, emotions that are out of control, all of those things that a lot of times we associate with our hormones and perimenopause. So thank you so much for joining me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Katie Glasgow, and I have been teaching women about natural wellness options for about the last 13 years, which is unbelievable to me. I started sharing natural options primarily just with doTERRA right after I had my second child, Nathaniel. He presented us with some, some little rough patches with eczema and things like that. And I started to seek out natural solutions. And then I started to seek out natural solutions for my body. And before I knew it, I was sharing these beautiful gifts of the earth with all women. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And so, over the years, it's kind of evolved a little bit. I go a little outside the realms of just the essential oils. I like to talk a lot about what we call cyclical living and really learning how to live and breathe and experience life in the way a woman was designed to experience life. And so today our topic is a topic that is like so near and dear to my heart. It's part of my mission and my message of, just my entire being of who I am. And so I'm really, really excited to have you here with me as we dive into solutions for that perimenopausal time frame of women. Again, 45 to 55. It's going to be different for every single body because we are all designed and we are all created differently. Okay. So a couple of quick notes before we get started. If you're tuning in live, make sure you use that chat box. You go find that chat box. You pop in there. You ask your questions. I want this to be a space where you have come to find solutions. You're here. You're seeking solutions. You want some answers. You want to try to figure out how you can support your body during this stage. So use that chat feature and use it and abuse it. Okay, ladies? The second thing is if you are tuning into this as a recording later on, I totally get it. I totally understand. I want you to get a notebook out, right? And I would say this for everybody, whether you're live or whether you're listening to this recording later on, get a notebook out and let's take some notes and let's dive in. Because if you are here and you are taking the next 20 minutes to 30 minutes to seek solutions, I know that you want answers and I want to help you find them. I have found them for myself and I've helped thousands of women find them as well. And you're next, okay? Or maybe you're here because you want to learn how to find solutions for somebody else in your life. Let's get out that notebook. Let's ask questions. When you're done listening to this call, if something comes up later on, or maybe you were listening to the recording and you couldn't get on live, make sure that you reach out to me. Most of you are receiving this through my email, or maybe somebody sent you a link on my website. I should have put it up here on the chat, but if you don't have my information, you can always send me an email at katie@magicwithkatie.com or reply to something that I've dropped into your inbox, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, wherever. Find me and ask the questions, because if we are seeking solutions and we don't ask the questions, how are we actually going to find the solutions? So my motto in life is when we know better, we do better. And I hope today that I can share some tips, some tools, some knowledge with you so that you can know better to do better in your life when it comes to taking care of your body. Okay, so let's get started. And I am going to have a screen. We're going to do some share screens. So let's just talk about the priorities of this 45 to 55-year-old range group. Our bodies are starting to mature. Okay, we're not in our 20s anymore. We're not in our 30s. For most of us, by the time we're hitting the age of 45, we're not going to be experiencing pregnancy and birth. We've moved on from that stage in life. Although I do have some friends that are in the stage of life of still having babies at 45. There's nothing wrong with that. but we've kind of moved on from this stage of life. We don't have the little kids at home. Our kids are older. We've got, adolescents, they're leaving the house. Maybe some of us are grandparents already. And we have different concerns for our body. Our body is starting to shift and change. Now, changes are coming, right? We've got hormones that we're talking about. Maybe our skin is starting to change a little bit. Our bone health is starting to change a little bit. Our skeletal muscle mass is starting to change a little bit. And so what we start to see is we start to change. And so what I'm going to say right now might shock you, but I am a firm believer that we deliver the truth and we deliver nothing but the truth with a gentle love and a hug. Always is my philosophy. And this is the truth. Is that our body is aging, but it doesn't have to be hard. And we don't get to blame hormones and aging on everything. And a lot of us like to use our aging and our hormones as a scapegoat for the reason we feel like crap, or maybe we don't have as much energy, or maybe we have the sagging skin, or maybe we have, some heavier cycles, or maybe we're having and experiencing hot flashes, whatever that means. Now, I'm not saying that our hormones aren't playing a part of this, a role in this. I'm not saying that our aging isn't playing a role in this, but we don't get to give it power anymore. So that's my first thing I invite you and all women to do, is to stop chalking everything up to your hormones and perimenopause, right? You are in a different stage of life. Stages of life are the experience we are here to have in this world, right? I want to teach you how to love for and care for your body, because as you get to this stage of life, yes, your body is changing because it is supposed to. But I'm going to tell you, you get to decide what experience you have by your daily practices, by your foundations, by your mindset, by the words you're using. And I feel like some of you needed that reminder today. And actually, most women need that reminder, because we're telling everything, we're like blaming our hormones on everything. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some solutions to get you started moving in the right direction, because here's the reality. You've got a lot of life left to live. You are 45 to 55. Some of you might have 50 years left to live. Do you want to live from a space of longevity and abundance and energy and age gracefully? Or do you want to age in a way where you're like, oh, I feel like shit. I don't like, my body's failing me. Everything is hard. All of those things, right? Now, I'm not saying that there's not going to be some ups and downs, but I'm going to give you solutions to manage those so they become less and less common, and we stop deeming them as just being normal. Okay, so let's reclaim our health. Who's in? I want to know in the chat who is in, or if you're following me live, who is in to reclaim their body and reclaim their health as you go into 45 to 55. Yeah, I'm here. That's what I'm here for. Okay, so let's go and let's talk about foundations. Now, when I have an entire class on this called The Truth of Hormones, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have access to that and you would like access to my Truth on Hormones talk, I should have it drop in the thing. I will add this to the replay page, or just reach out to me and I'll get you that call, because in that call, I go into a lot more of the physical ways that we need to take care of our body and the emotional ways of how we actually calm our emotions, our nervous system, and some things like that, because our hormones and our body and everything that we have going on in our life is a balance of our physical and our emotional, right? And a lot of us spend so much time over here on the physical that we forget about the emotional. And really, to have harmony in our body, they have to dance together. They kind of have to work together. But today I'm going to just focus on some basics with foundational wellness, right? Because most of you that are joining, you're here because you have doTERRA in your home. You love doTERRA. and you want to know, or maybe you're ready to bring doTERRA into your house and you're like, hey, I want to know exactly what I need to be doing. Okay. And so we just came out with some of these new products. And what I'm going to tell you is I want you to dial in on the foundations. Now, what do I mean by dial in? I want you to commit to getting consistent with some basic habits. Okay, getting consistent with some basic habits. And I'm going to give you doTERRA things, and then I'm going to give you a whole list of other things that you want that we need to look at. Okay, so the foundation is going to be this brand new product that we just launched, and this is called VMG Plus. And what VMG Plus is, it is a combination of greens, right? So we're getting in those fruits, those vegetables, those missing nutrients that we can't get from food. Because did you know that 9 out of 10 of our health concerns can be linked back to poor nutrition? And as we age, this starts to get more and more important, because as we age, our nutritional needs are even more foundational. Plus, we live in a world with a lot of processed foods, crappy foods. And by the time we get to 45 to 55, if we have not been on a health journey, for most of us, we need to play catch up a little bit. We haven't been putting the right nutrients in our tanks for quite some time. Especially if you're currently in this 45 to 55-year-old age group. We grew up in the era of maybe when we were younger, we had, the home cooked meals and things like that. But now, we've been introduced to so many processed foods, so many things, and we're busy and we've got different things going on that we don't slow down and pay attention to what we're putting in our bodies, right? So this VMG is going to help fill in those nutritional gaps and maybe start to repair some of what we've done damage to in our 20s when we were eating McDonald's and Busch Light all day long, or in our 30s when we were so busy taking care of the kids and everything else that we barely ate, or maybe we're really into those fad diets that we're like, as women in our 35s, between 45 to 55, the reality is we grew up embedded in diet culture with Slim Fast and a bunch of, and all of these like quick fixes. And how many of you, I want to know, how many of you are like, one of your biggest concerns right now is weight gain, and you want to know how to lose weight, right? This is a big one. As they go into perimenopausal women, we think it's impossible to lose weight, which I'm going to tell you is poop. We're not going to talk about that a lot today, but I just want to let you know that we want to get this stuff in there. Plus, it's going to help with our energy levels. And when we have better energy, we have more desire to get in that movement, or maybe prepare some better foods for ourselves or something like that. Our gut health and our digestion, as we age, our microbiome of our digestive health just naturally starts to deteriorate. So we need to look at how can we replenish the things that our body is naturally being depleted of. Our bone density, strength, and support is of utmost importance. Our bone density is really important for our longevity. Improving our skin cell turnover, that's going to be our, we're starting to get concerned about our wrinkles, and we're like, oh my gosh, like what are these little crow's feet and things like that. Hormone regulation and fluctuation. Like I said, this is a really big deal, but this VMG is going to help with our brain function and focus. Okay. So it's going to help because, a lot of times I tell people, yeah, I've got some great skincare. And if you haven't tried the doTERRA, it's awesome. But most of my skin is being maintained because of how I'm taking care of my body from the inside out. Okay. So this VMG is going to be foundational. If you don't take anything else, this would be the best option. This would be the good option for your health, right? If you're like, hey, I'm going to commit to one thing this month, it would be to take the VMG foundationally. Now, the cool part is it's once a day. You don't have to remember to take a bunch of pills. You mix it in some water, you take it like a shot, and you're good to go. Okay. So this would be the foundational wellness. You want anything else, you could totally eliminate. Just start with this and maybe some of the other practices that I have shared with you. Now we're going to add in, now this is going to be the better option, is we're going to add in E omegas, because why is this important as we're aging, as we're going into our 45 to 55. It's because it's really good for heart health. We need to start to think about those things for our heart health, our longevity, our healthy joint function and bone integrity, right? Those aches and pains that might be starting to show up, our brain and our nervous system function, and our mood regulation. So somebody says, hey, I've got anxiety and hormonal issues, right? So a lot of times those are actually tied together. They're tied to your gut health, and then they're also tied to your brain health. And so if you're feeling like you've got some nervous system function that's out of repair, which most of us do, we're completely overstimulated with technology and worry and all those things, we can bring it down. It's going to, again, help with that healthy digestive system. It's going to help with healthy skin hydration and elasticity and thyroid support, which a lot of women start to have these concerns for thyroid support as we age. Omegas, just do a Google search on the benefits of omega for women in perimenopause. You are going to find so many studies, so many good things that you can look at. So this is going to be key. So this would be the better option. So you would take this with this. So again, super easy. It's 1 sachet of the greens, and you would add this in. It's 3 of them is what is recommended. So you just take it all at once first thing in the morning, and this is going to help you get that foundation in so your body is set up to thrive the rest of the day. Now, we want to add in the best option for women in this foundational age group. We're going to add in some PB Restore to get to help with that gut microbiome. Again, this is going to help with our moods, our emotions, our pooping, because if you're not pooping, I talked about poop yesterday, I got to talk about poop every day. 1 to 2 times per day with ease, we should be eliminating. And actually, this is a really common concern with women and their hormones. And, it's one of the biggest things. If we can get you pooping, and we focus in on your digestion, a lot of these other health issues go away. I listened to a gal a couple of years ago. I remember this so clearly because it made such a profound impact on me. And it was, the myriad of health issues is vast that we have. The autoimmunes, the hormone disruption, the digestive issues, the mystery illnesses, all the things. It's vast. We've got something new comes up and pops up every day that you hear about. But the root cause is very small, is very few, right? So really, there's usually about 5 different areas that are the root cause of all disease. And poor nutrition and digestion take care of 9 out of 10, take care of the majority of those. So if we get our nutrition and our digestion on track, then, and we get consistent with that, a lot of the other things that we have going on in our life is going to be eliminated. And that might seem like, Katie, but my doctor says this. I understand, and I'm not telling you not to go to a doctor, but let's dial in on some of the foundations, okay? A lot of times I get a lot of women that come to me, they're like, my hormones are a mess. I'm going to go see a specialist. I'm going to get all this blood work, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you right now, do you know how much that cost, right? It's a huge investment. Most of the time it's not covered by insurance. They're going to put you on a lot of things, and they're going to put you on a lot of things that are overwhelming and that are a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying that at some point in time, we might need to explore these options. I myself have worked with a functional medicine doctor and some different things. The functional medicine doctor I work with, she said to me, I was like, well, I need some hormone testing, blah, blah, blah. She said, Katie, you don't need hormone testing. We've got a long ways to go. And so she started to work with me on some of my digestion with a lot of the doTERRA products I already had in my home. We added in a few others because there sometimes is a need for a few other things. And within a few months, I was back to feeling so good in my body. And we never even had to test hormones because we focused in on these foundations, your nutrition and your digestion. And when we're looking at when we are looking at all of this together, right? You are getting all of it in the way you need. These are the dialed in foundations. So it's good. You would take the VMG plus. You want to do the better option. It's the VMG with the omegas, and it is 3 at once if you choose. It's just 3 a day. So you decide. I like I like to take one in the afternoon. So I do 2 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. So you decide, you get to play with it. Remember, you are in charge of your body. So you're playing. I'm giving you some suggestions. You get to decide what works best for you. Then we go into the better, or to the best. That's going to be the VMG plus, the Omega, and then we're going to add in that PB Restore. And these products have been revolutionary for me. And honestly, these are what I've been dialed into for the last couple of weeks since they came out. And I feel amazing right now, like so good. My energy levels are more sustained. And a lot of that is going to be because I'm getting that foundation. It's a little bit more bioavailability than maybe our lifelong vitality was. And I'm getting in those greens, I'm getting in those nutrients, I'm getting in all of what I need. And it's in a simple way. I'm not like forgetting to take a second dose or anything like that. And so these are going to be my good, better, best habits. These are the foundations. And then we get to personalize. Okay, now here's the thing I'm going to tell you. Every 90 to 120 days, our red blood cells completely regenerate, recirculate. And so with that in mind, there's a 30-day money back guarantee on all of this. I'm going to ask you to do this until the end of the year. Maybe you start to personalize. Maybe you're just like, nope, I'm just going to dial in on, get super consistent with this best option, and I'm going to track how I feel. Let's start our wellness goals now. We don't need to wait until the new year. Let's start them now and let's see how far in advance we're going to be as we go into 2025, right? Then we personalize. Everybody has different goals, okay? So where we put personalize, I'm going to give you some ideas and some suggestions. And then you get to decide how to personalize. And this is where, if you have questions, you're going to reach out to the person that invited you, or you're going to reach out to myself, and we are going to sit with you and we are going to help you with this personalization piece. Maybe you want better skin. And you're like, I'm going to personalize with some skincare and some like what we call, let me see, where's my personalization slide? Maybe I'm going to add in some Immortelle and I'm going to help with aging skin, or I'm going to add in the Virage skincare line because I really want to focus in on my skin. Maybe you want to focus in on sleep. So we're going to add in the recharge, which I don't have on here. Maybe we're going to add in some recharge, which I have seen have the biggest impact in my health and my hormones. And the recharge is our electrolytes that has the additional magnesium in. And I'm going to add in some magnesium every day or in the evenings. If you want to have better sleep, you're going to add that magnesium in the evenings. Like last night, I was at a football game for my son. I drank a big water bottle full of the recharge magnesium, which is basically the electrolytes with the magnesium in it. I drank that before I while I was at the football game. And last night I went through my evening wind down routine. I added in some Serenity sleep sticks, some different things like that. And I slept so well last night. I had over an hour of deep sleep, which usually doesn't happen for me. I track my sleep and I usually don't have a full deep sleep of an hour, but that recharge with that magnesium, taking it before bed, really supported me. And I took it like at between 7:30 and 8:30 last night. So now I know like, oh, I'm going to kind of play with this and experiment. Should I add the recharge every night at that time? And I'm going to see what happens when I do that. So it's a lot. Some of this is like playing with different things and figuring out what works for you. Maybe you've got some autoimmune stuff going on and you want to add in some advantage collagen, right? Or you've got some more blood sugar levels coming through. Maybe you want to add in some advantage collagen as well. Maybe you want some more hormonal support and bone density. You could do your phytoestrogen with your bone nutrients. Now, these two are meant to be taken together, and a lot of people have great success taking these in the evenings, and they make a huge impact in your hormonal support. Full disclosure, because remember, I'm only here for the truth, is that I don't take the phytoestrogen and the bone nutrient. Like, I have learned how to regulate my hormones without them. I do really well with the collagen, the recharge, and this new system with the VMG plus the omegas, and the other. So this is where you get to play with different products. So start with what works for you and your budget and what doesn't seem overwhelming. And then you can start to play with what you add in and what you don't. If you're feeling like your body is constantly stressed and all over the place, I would probably add in the adaptive copaiba combo. I call it the chill pill. And so it's a capsule of copaiba and a capsule of adaptive. And most days I just do one of those in the evening, one of each of those in the evening before bed. But sometimes if I'm traveling or if I'm in a situation where I feel a little overwhelmed, I'll take it in the middle of the day. So I hope I'm not trying to confuse you with all of the ideas I'm throwing out there. I just want you to know this personalization piece is going to be very unique to you. And maybe for right now, you don't even personalize. You focus in on the foundations, right? You focus in on these foundations. You pick a good, better, or best, whatever works for you. And that's what you focus on for at least a month. And then maybe after that month, you add in something. And I cannot stress enough how you're going to do this is you're going to work with myself. You're going to work with the person that invited you. We are going to help you create your plan. No more throwing darts at a dartboard and trying to figure out what to do. No more like hearing that this thing is good for you or going to the health food store and being like, I'm going to focus in on this or whatever. Let's dial in on your daily habits. Right? Let's dial in and find what works for you. And you're going to do that by connecting with us. And at the end of this, I'll also have a live Q&A, but that's not recorded. So if you weren't on live, make sure you're reaching out. Okay. Now, here's a couple of other tips for you. These are the things that I have found that have also worked for me. Remember, as we're going into this 45 to 55, our bodies are changing. We need to give our bodies something different. We're not going to be able to pretend like we're in our 20s and eat whatever we wanted and, stay out until 2 o'clock and, all the things. We don't need to go there. So what are we going to do? Here's some other ideas. Prioritize protein. And this might be, you might see like, hey, I see this on everywhere I read, it's prioritizing protein. That's because there's so much research behind this. Protein helps with your muscles, and your muscles are the largest organ in your body that needs support. That's what's going to help you stay strong, stay active as you go in and get older. So get used to prioritizing protein right now. Get out of MyFitnessPal or something like that, track, or just, write down. If you don't want to track anything else in your world, track protein. It's going to help you feel fuller for a longer period of time. And it's going to make a difference in your mental health, your emotional health, your anxiety, your depression, everything, plus your hormonal health, especially if you're having heavy and very uncomfortable periods. Pro tip: when you're prioritize protein all month long, and for the 5 to 7 days around your menstrual cycle, aim for protein that has like salmon or beef and red meats versus chickens and things like that. Okay, so prioritize protein, 30 to 40 grams per meal. I say everybody in this age group should be eating a minimum of over 100 grams of protein per day. Focus in on that good quality sleep. It might have been that when we were in our 30s or prior, we could, get 30 minutes, 6 hours of sleep and we were fine, or we thought we were fine. And now we've got a depleted thing. So get good quality sleep. If sleep is not happening for you, maybe that's what we solve for as your add-on options this time. So we've got the Serenity Stick is one of my favorites. It's, I have an evening wind down. I could probably do a whole class on sleep, but maybe sleep needs to be your focus to add on to this. Rethink your relationship with alcohol, right? Alcohol actually disrupts our sleep and all of our metabolic processes, our anxiety, things like that in a very large way. So if you're consuming alcohol, and a lot of times we're like, hey, I'm going to consume alcohol to deal with my stress. Alcohol also has a lot of sugar in it. If you're wanting to lose weight, alcohol, maybe we just need to rethink the relationship with alcohol, right? So I know that for myself, I have pretty much been alcohol free for the entire year of 2024, and my sleep patterns and everything have been so much better. I can probably count on one hand the times I've had a glass of wine or anything. Okay. Love your body as it changes. I cannot stress this enough. One of the biggest components of how we age is how we perceive this aging and how we emotionally perceive it. If we hate our body and we hate the changes that are occurring, it's going to make it a lot harder for us and a lot more uncomfortable for us to age. So love your body as it changes. Manage your stress. Again, if that is what you want to focus in on right now, maybe we add in some adaptive, we add in some copaiba. We learn how to manage our stress and what we know what helps us manage our stress. Move your body for 30 minutes most days of the week. These are all just foundational daily habits that we can add in. And I want you to look at all of these. Most of these are absolutely free. Rethinking your relationship with alcohol, that's going to actually eliminate some money. Prioritizing protein, maybe not eating out as much, that's going to be about the same when it comes to your groceries. Not all protein has to be meat. Managing stress, maybe you're going to add in some oils, but maybe it's just some deep breathing work once or twice a day. Moving your body for 30 minutes. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but the movement of your body can help with your emotional health. It can help with your cycle regulation. And these are just some things that we need to dial in on for foundational wellness, right? Many times when I start to work with women and I sit with them and I go through and I have a whole list of questions I ask. And a lot of those are just intuitively, I'm asking you. And most of us think that we're eating healthy when the reality is we're still eating a bunch of crap and we're actually not being consistent with sleep. With that, we think we're sleeping great, but we're really not. We think we're moving our body, but we're maybe moving our body 1 or 2 days a week, not most days of the week. I don't care how you move your body. You can dance, you can go for a walk, you can go to the gym, you can lift some weights, but just start with these things and getting consistent. And for me, my non-negotiables every day, it's my VMG plus. It is some of my daily supplements that I'm taking. It's my sleep. It's my prioritizing protein. It is moving my body 30 minutes a day, because when I do all of those things, I don't want the alcohol. It's easier to love my body. I don't have very much stress. And it's just a beautiful way to step into this next stage of life that is part of wisdom. We're now the wise women of the village, and we get to honor ourselves and show our daughters and our nieces and those that are going to come after us how to age with passion and purpose. And that to me is super, super cool. So just so good. Anyway, bonus, understanding your body's cycles with the moon and the seasons. This is something I'm super, super passionate about. So if that's something that interests you, let me know. I have a Facebook community and I do offer a lot of free resources on this. And this is just an additional way to learn how to sync your body with everything. I think a lot of people that registered are already part of this community, but if you're not, just let me know. Okay. Now, we already went through the personalization. Let's just wrap it up. So how are we going to order? The first things first, right? Most of you, if you're in doTERRA, you know how to go in, you know how to order, right? So I have also put a link together that is a link with all of the products that I talked about today that you can grab on here. It's going to be in the replay, or I think it'll be on the replay page. But the thing I would really love for you to do is I would love for you to send a text message right now, or as soon as you're watching this, or at least by the end of the day. And I want you to text the person that invited you to this and say, hey, I just watched the hormone class and I'm ready to find solutions for myself. And reach out to us and we will help you make sure you really dial in on what your body needs. I cannot stress this enough. A lot of times I think as women, we get really stubborn, or we think that somebody's going to suggest something that we don't need or whatever. Like most of us that are inviting you to this series, or even myself, like this is our passion and it's our job to help you find that. So that's how you order. You pop into your account. Now, if you are brand new to doTERRA, we want to help you get started. So what you're going to do, again, you're going to go back to the person that invited you. If you're just randomly finding this, wherever you found it, you should have a way to connect with me, with Katie, and we will help you get started. Now this month, we've got a lot of really fun gifts that we can offer as long as you connect with us, and we'll create it's super easy. We create a link for you that you click on, you check out your cart, you see if it works for you and your budget, and then you just check out and you've got some free gifts there that are going to be delivered right to your home. And so we're really here, we're passionate, and we want to help you. And a lot of times, we're just like, oh, just send me the link, send me the link. I want to help you. I want to connect with you. I want to make sure that you are bringing the products into your home that are going to work for you and serve you in the best way possible. So, for today, that's what I have for our our wellness series. I'm going to be back tomorrow or whenever you see it. It's going to be on the replay page to talk about women that are going to be in that 55 plus age group and different ways that you can support your body naturally. So make sure you reach out, make sure you ask questions, and I will see you all in just a moment. If you are on live, hold tight because you are going to get some of your questions answered. I just got to stop the recording if I can figure out where it's at. Stop recording.